Week 6, off and on the clock. I'm Pete Overzet. We got the Badge Bros, John and Nez, and we are going to get you guys ready for the Week 6 slate on Underdog. So we're going to go through a slate overview, where are the value plays, what are the scroll down picks you guys should be looking for this week. Then we'll focus on some small field tournament strategy. We'll have the Deposit Kingdom contest dropping. We'll do some 12-person contest strategy, hop in a Dawg Bowl draft, talk through that. And then, of course, we might even be cracking some beers, doing some spicy pick'ems. Last week, we forgot to do our Haterade pick'em. We'll be sure to fire that back up. Going to be a fun show today. This is off and on the clock. Let's do it. All right, Nez and John got to hang out with John last night on the Shipcast. How we doing, fellas?
Doing well. That was a very fun Shipcast. I haven't been able to actually catch them live. Usually I'm running errands on Thursday nights and listening to the game in my ears, but got to catch a Shipcast. That was a fun one. That was a good one and a very interesting game too. Very, very odd game, but turned out to be kind of fun.
Dude, classic Seahawks on prime time, dude. Just always weird.
They've never played a normal game. It's
never
that Kevin Clark tweet. I don't know if you've seen that from 2017, and it still holds true.
Still holds true.
It was weird. If you would have told me that there were 60 points scored in that game, I would have been like, team hires, man, we are just crushing here. And again, just coming painfully short of just sweeping everything there. That was unfortunate, but a very fun time there. How is your guys' prep this week, Ben? I know you guys have already done a few shows. I'm always catching up to you guys here later in the week. How are you feeling about this slate?
Honestly, I'm easy tool pilled right now. After we did the show with Easy there, I've just been refining my process based on this tool, whether that's right or wrong. That's how I'm attacking this week, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So shout out to our guy Easy, because I'm really enjoying messing around with the tool we displayed on stream yesterday. It's giving me all the feels back to the very first time I kind of learned how to pivot from exploitative poker to GTO and started using a random number generator and stuff like that. And I think that's why maybe it's a little nostalgia trip for me that I'm using it right now, but I'm really enjoying it and just kind of opening my third eye to the slate.
I was going to say the same thing.
Are you guys both paid influencers? Are you guys on the Easy?
Yeah,
you guys for this?
Easy can't afford us, man. No, I mean,
yeah. No, I was gonna say the same thing, but I didn't want to I'm like, oh, we just did the show with Easy, and I don't want to completely glaze the tool, but man, it is a lot of fun. I think the coolest part about it is the inherent RNG aspect, like you said, John. Just get, as soon as you put a new input in there, just giving you a new fresh suggestion, I think is fun. And just rolling the suggestions, just trying to see how often somebody pops up as first. All right, I guess I'm taking this guy. It was really cool, and makes you slow down too when you draft PRs, because I'm so often multi-tabling.
Yeah, and I think it's that kind of concept and the whole idea of scrolling down, even sometimes taking a pick that you can still get in the 6th round, in the 3rd round, of just ejecting yourself from the tethering to ADP, which still remains a super powerful force. In the Deposit Kingdom video I'm going to have coming out later today, in the kind of evergreen section, I went through looking at specific using Patrick Donovan's BBMDB, and he has that new Battle Royale kind of leaderboard and filter that you can do, and just looking at the number of teams for the kind of popular stacks that were drafted in every contest versus the ones that weren't. And when you look at, because a lot of times we talk about draft percentage and there's the debate, the 100% versus, the whatever the other number is, 20-some%. But when you actually just look at the raw numbers of how many Jordan Love versus Jaden Reed stacks last week, compared to even Joe Burrow versus Jamar Chase, and just having that one quarterback not get drafted, the raw number distinction is absolutely massive between that. And so all of these tools, I guess the long-winded way of saying, anything you can do to eject yourself from being an autopilot in the same way the majority of the field is in autopilot, I think is just a really good thing to be doing.
Because if we could classify players on the site, there's the Hardo 150 sicko maxer guys, but they're primarily playing everything and they're autoing in some capacity. And like, that's what they're doing. Right. Then there's the complete rogue recreational who just comes in and takes Kyler Murray in the first round, but those ones are few and far between. Then the next kind of other player on the site is recreational, but stays pretty tethered to ADP because he doesn't want to feel, or she doesn't want to feel like, oh, I'm getting exposed and getting beat up here. It's here for a reason. It's my guiding tool, right? So, like, what is that nuanced fourth player that can kind of come in here and deal with that environment? And I think that's kind of where we're all trying to fit in, right?
Yeah, I like the way that you describe that. It's definitely a strong dynamic, and I'm even still sometimes stuck in that ADP mode where it kind of feels tough, especially this week. It feels tough to kind of get down into the depths of the undrafted territory, but I know that that's, maybe not too far, but I know that that is where like the EV lies, is in those in that range. So we'll obviously we'll get to it, but yeah, there's some plays. There's definitely some plays.
Yeah, and it's also John and I coincidentally wearing our Scroll the F Down merch. John just took a sip out of his coffee mug. So there you go. This was all just a ruse to
sell the merch.
You to buy merch.
Yeah. To fatten up Pete's bags. I got the hat right here.
Yeah. It's so sad when I get my distributor Printful. It sends me like my monthly like recap of profits, and I'm generally hovering between the $5 to $10 a month in profit from merch sales. So no, just get the merch. It's a labor of love, and thankfully I don't have to ship them myself. All right, let me get the ADP board up here. I always think this is kind of a good place to start here for us as we overview this BR slate. I'll slot us up here, get this up here. But yeah, what are some of your guys' initial thoughts on this week 6 BR slate?
Can I start with like two like super macro ones?
Yes.
I think it's extremely polarizing in terms of game totals, where we're dealing with like some 35s, some 36s, some like really gross variety. And then we're dealing with like 3 flirting with 51, 52, 50, right? So I think that's like the first thing where it's like it's condensing an already shorter BR slate because of the international games and bye weeks and that sort of deal. It's condensing what was already smaller than the beginning of the season even further by like filtering people to like 5 or 6 game environments. People are just completely Xing out a couple of them other than one-off plays. So I think that's one big one for me there. In the 6 persons, the first like 8-ish picks feel like, or in particular the first 4, but then some variation of like the first 11, and then you can do whatever the F you want, right? Like that's how it feels. And for me, the scrolls this week that I really think are the strongest are running back in the 12 persons.
Interesting. I do think that there are some like good plays, some like nice safety valves for you at running back in the 12 persons. But in reality, I think running back is sort of top heavy this week. So I've definitely been really enjoying these running backs that go in the top 20 and making that a pretty strong priority for me. And if I do that, I do find myself speaking in 6 persons here. My wide receiver pool is also like pretty condensed as well. I have scrolled, here and there for some pretty deep scrolls. I'm not going to lie, but like if Deontay Johnson's just going to be there for me in the 6th round every time, then I'm just going to take Deontay Johnson as my second wide receiver in the 6th round every single time. And just bet on a bounce back there. I think he's like we've been talking about is how good the usage is for Deontay Johnson, and he's got the Q tag, and he just flopped against the Bears, and now we don't want anything to do with him. So for me, he's just like such a nice safety valve in the 6th. So that's what leads me to going RB heavy.
That Deontay one has been weird to me. I guess it's just the Q tag. I'm surprised. Like to me, I would have just guessed if you showed me these players, I would have said Deontay will come off the board right after Chris Godwin, like right before Zay and Terry. Like that's where Deontay, and he just like hasn't budged much
I think the Zay and Terry anchoring effect is the fact that Lamar and Jaden Daniels go ahead every single time.
Yes. Yeah. No. That makes sense for sure. I just still mean like that's a pretty big, it's like a 10 spot gap. Like Deontay putting him in the Devontae tank tier, like to me, he's much more clearly in the Godwin tier as far as like what he is as a play.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's just really easy to do that, right? To just know that like I don't have to worry about my wide receiver too, because like if I don't take Deontay Johnson, he's going undrafted. It's just kind of strange.
And I would say the running back version of that play, the guy who projects well, who everyone seems to like but hasn't come up maybe enough, is Tony Pollard. 26.7. Again, you see the pretty big gap, Montgomery Jacobs, and then a 10 pick gap until we get into the Pollard Chuba range here. I've traditionally struggled with these plays where it's like, they're catching a decent amount of ownership. But I actually really like Pollard and Deontay this week because they do just seem like they should be 3rd round players that you're getting in the 5th and 6th a ton of the time.
It's a lot easier to get to these RBs below that Connor tier in the 12 persons than it is in the 6 person. I just don't really know how you can. I mean, you can make a case for some of these guys. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that a lot of these guys are undraftable, but a lot of these guys are like really tough to like take a stand on in the 6 person drafts. I mean, even like J.K. Dobbins there in that matchup, like that's a game John was talking about, game environments being crossed off. That's a hard one for me to like take a click on in that Chargers Broncos game. Even Najee Harris. Now we have Jalen Warren, full participant. Like that becomes like a huge.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
wasn't he listed as doubtful earlier in the week?
Doubtful, and then like came in and like put in an LP, and then was like questionable. They're like, oh wow, like Jalen Warren is like on the field. It was a surprise. It was a surprise.
I'm tilting because my spoiler, I put Najee as one of my bonus gems in the video. And the huge selling point is he's been getting a ton of receiving work these past couple games. And like, it looked like a really nice spot. I still don't think it's like dead, but because he's still due for positive touchdown regression, but man, the Warren big back certainly caps the kind of the ceiling element there.
He still is most yards and most usage in the league without scoring a touchdown this year. So
it's crazy. He hasn't had less, because I put it in the video, is he's had a minimum of 16 opportunities a game, so carries plus targets, and then 70 scrimmage yards or more in every game. Like he has a really high floor, and it's just like the 1 week he falls in the end zone, he's going to pay it off. And it's a good week to fall in the end zone against the Raiders.
It is. And I think that's going to be a obviously really good matchup for them. Just the fact that I think the Steelers defense is going to bully the Raiders, and that obviously fares well for Najee. The one player that I'm seeing here, really low ownership in the 6 person drafts, Rico Dowdle. I could probably get excited about Rico. I know Detroit is not the matchup for RBs, but we just saw him like take over that role. So being the starting running back for the Cowboys, that was always like what we've been waiting for. We have it. Small win, big payoff type of deal.
He's also game script agnostic, right? Because he has scored twice through the air already. Like, he's being utilized in that capacity. So yeah, I like that shout there. And Crash Rich agrees with you because Crash Rich has been taking him a shitload in drafts that I've been in with Crash Rich. Yeah.
What do you guys, other kind of slate dynamics? Obviously, I always got to talk about quarterback. I don't see anything that like jumps out in this top 6 that seems like egregious or weird to me. It seems like pretty well ordered. Obviously, some fun kind of scroll down guys. Once you get to kind of the Goff, Mayfield, Fields, we'll see what happens with Richardson. I mean, I would say these 3 right here, Goff, Mayfield, Fields, are the ones I kind of gravitate to. What are you guys thinking at quarterback as far as the landscape?
Yeah, I feel similarly there. I've been doing a little bit of the Baker double stuff. Just did one in the Dawg Bowl there with Nez. I've been getting to it. I feel that this week is kind of a spot where you're mitigating your edge in the Dawg Bowls by scrolling at quarterback late because they're so frequently falling. So you should probably stay tethered to like the higher projecting, in quotation, ones in that contest. Now in the 6 person contest, I feel like there's a lot of leverage in scrolling off of the tethering effects of ADP because everyone's doing the skinny stacks of Lamar, Daniels, and Dak every single draft. And if they get boxed out, they fall back on like Love plus Wicks, Love plus Tucker, Love plus, if they took Reed early. So I think there's a lot of leverage in the 6 persons to scroll at quarterback. I think there's less so in the 12s, which seems like redundant, but it's because you can readily get like Kyler in the 6th round or Kyler in the late 5th round and stuff like this. So I would rather just take that shot.
I've done like a handful. And I don't know if either of you were in the one I'm referencing, but Justin Fields went undrafted in one of my Dawg Bowls. I already had my quarterback and I was like, I wish I would have sat on that.
That happens. It's always the one when you can't take them.
Yeah. Nez, any thoughts on quarterback for you?
I agree with what John was saying. And for me, I think my favorite scroll in the 6 persons is Baker Mayfield. Really, really into Baker this week. I think this kind of couples with, I think you kind of a sneaky, spicy Spencer Rattler take, Pete, that we'll get to. But I think if Spencer's able to, push the pace here and put up points against this Bucs defense that is not very good against the air, then we get aggressive Baker Mayfield. I'm really excited for that. Baker's been like running a lot more lately in these games, and we know where the points are going to. It's Godwin or Evans. I know there's some Evans Lattimore scare. I think that you're not wrong if you're out there and you're like, hey, I don't want Mike Evans this week. That's fine. I honestly think that it's okay. I am going to lean into the maybe he doesn't get ejected from this game because they need to beat a divisional opponent. But like, hey man, I can understand being scared. On top of that, Kate Otten getting a little bit more usage as well. He's like tight end like 18 or something. Like he goes undrafted even in Dawg Bowls. So Baker, man, love me some Baker. It's mostly in the. I mean, he's an awesome like break glass quarterback in the Dawg Bowls, but I think super strong play in the 6 person drafts this week.
Yeah, I like it too, man. I like it too. I was laughing at the Jewish McCaffrey's comment in the chat there, where he just says he saw a new account on Underdog called Baker Double.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So good.
There's no way that's not your influence.
Dude, that one right there might that might be my burner there. That's my account that actually wins on occasion.
The amount of like inside references that are now popping up in usernames is hilarious. Yeah, I'm completely aligned with Baker to the point he may in fact be the quarterback gem I highlighted this week. I mean, this is just wild. These are his quarterback finishes this year: QB2, QB5, QB27 against the Broncos, QB3, QB7. That's Baker Mayfield this year. The dude has just been ripping it. So yeah, I'm with you there. Let's talk about tight end. That's obviously always the other kind of scroll down spot. I will admit, it will shock no one. I am very tempted by the guys at the top again. I think there's some nice plays up there. Let me find my screen here. But what do you guys like at tight end this week?
I mean, like every single week that Trey McBride is not tight end 1, I'm gonna keep clicking his name. He has the best role for a tight end in football, maybe outside of Brock Bowers, but Brock Bowers is getting a quarterback change. So I'm going to keep going back to the well with this Kyler McBride stuff. I know the propensity for them to run on early downs right now, both of those teams. I think Arizona and Green Bay could be a sneaky, not as fun game as we expected because both of them want to run the football. Arizona getting gashed by the run and Arizona also wanting to run all the time. But man, I just can't get over just Trey McBride not. If he had fallen in the end zone a couple times right now, he'd be like a borderline first round pick in BRs.
Yeah. I'm with you. There's a lot of steam on Jake Ferguson on Redacted here as the tight end 1. I definitely get it, but I'm with you. Like the sweet spot for me is this McBride, Bowers, Laporta. I find the trap zone to be this Kraft, Goddard, Pitts, and then I'm willing to scroll is kind of, I guess, where I'm at. What about you, Nez?
I thought John, first off, was going to say Taysom Hill. He might have a 2 tight end pool. It's either McBride or Taysom for him this week. I'm very, very confident in that.
I'm a little scared, Ness, of the DMPs. I am a little scared of the DMPs now.
Okay. I mean, he's a fine, hey, maybe a miracle happens and he's in there and playing a lot more QB or you get a swap in 6 persons. It's really not missing anything. I don't think it'll surprise anybody. It's like a new bit now that I love every tight end in the player pool. I do like all the tight ends, so I think that makes Kate Otten for me like a very fun scroll down. Same with Njoku, but I need to wait a little bit because that active tag is not real.
Yeah,
he is gonna play, I think. But that is that's fake. And it's been tricking me because I see it and my monkey brain says, yes, I need to draft Njoku. He's got that nice green tag next to him. But regardless, I think the spot is good. I am never again drafting Deshaun Watson, but if they just keep getting in these spots where their pass catchers are in good matchups, it's going to be hard for me to not take them. And Amari Cooper goes really late in drafts and Njoku goes really late in drafts. And he's at the tight end position where who cares? A lot of the time, more often than not, no tight end is going to matter. And why not get the low owned guy and also not matter? But if he does hit, wow, you have leverage over literally everybody. But other than that, I agree with you on McBride, man. McBride, and you guys are gonna love the tight end spice on him. They just keep daring us.
It is. I've already taken a peek. I might already have an all tight end spice entry. I didn't do for content. I just did to get my own rocks off in my own time. So I'm very much on board.
Oh, that's good. Can you scroll a little bit there, Pete? Because there's one thing I just kind of wanted to bring up here. Let's go from past Schultz. Let's go Freiermuth down and just look at it for a second. Njoku, I kind of like the shout of that could be the missing piece that finally unlocks this trailing script of a passing game for Cleveland. I like that shout there, Nez, and he's not getting clicked enough. But this whole range, one thing that's really opened my third eye in the 6 persons and stuff like that is using the easy sheet. And when you start randomizing and you punt tight end till the 6th round, and then you just randomize, you really, our minds are hey, tight end 15 is so far from tight end 8. And our scrolls at tight end 8 and 10 and whatever were they felt big before. Now, when you use the sheet and you randomize, man, you get Freiermuth sometimes, you get Kate Otten sometimes, because we're talking fractions of percentage points different in projections. I have Hunter Henry teams now. I have Njoku teams. I have Kate Otten doubles. I have, all this stuff with the back end tight end, because I think you articulated it perfectly, Pete, there, that getting caught in that no man's land of 4 through tight end 4 through 7. Well, you may as well go all the way to 15 at some point.
Well, because the fractions of the percentages just do not matter. You are touchdown hunting here, plain and simple. One of these guys, Freiermuth, Hill, Ertz, Cade, Njoku, Henry, Juwan, I do think it falls off a cliff after that once you're to Scootmaker and Chig or whatever. But one of these, one or if not 2 or whatever, are going to catch a touchdown, and they are going to absolutely obliterate their projection. Right. and they will probably be, unless one of these top guys goes for 25 plus, if you get a touchdown from one of these guys, you're going to be live. So yeah, I'm with you there. And I do think, oh, go ahead.
Sorry. On this slate, I think it's important to articulate, because we talked about it in the Primetime Palooza yesterday, where it's this slate could get nuked and flipped on its head by George Kittle, right? And what does George Kittle go out and do? He puts out the 20 burger, probably going to be unmatched. It's no Kittle, no cash now in that slate. Is there anyone on this slate that stands out to you guys that's hey, this is the 2 tight end or 2 touchdown scoring spot that would obliterate this slate?
I thought you were just going to float a 2 tight end build, and I was like,
no.
No one has had the balls to go there yet.
I think you take away too much ceiling by going to the 2,
of course,
the 2 tight end stuff.
To me, it is these 3, the McBride, Bowers, Laporta. Those are the 3 guys I would be worried about burying me, who could, put that 20 plus point score up. Maybe I should be a little bit more afraid of Tucker Kraft. There's still no Luke Musgrave. Dobbs back. Watson might be back. He still hasn't been, his target share has still actually been pretty low. Goddard, with both of the Eagles guys coming back. Pitts is fucking sucks. I mean, these are the 3, right? It's McBride, Bowers, Laporta. Those are the guys who can bury you.
Right. Yeah, I guess. It kind of just feels like those are the only ones. The Ferg stuff could bear. Sorry, Nez, go ahead. Were you gonna say the Ferg stuff?
I was gonna throw Kraft in there, of course. You know me, I got to expand the pool there. I mean, dude, Kraft is going to be on the field 100% of the time in this Packers game against one of the worst defenses in the league. No Musgrave. The wide receiver room is like, yeah, we know for a fact Jaden Reed's out there, but like, is Watson going to play? It's going to be iffy. Dubs is back with the personal stuff. Who knows how many snaps he's getting? Wicks is like the best player that sucks. And then Kraft is like a very trustworthy option that has like shown some juice. They're probably going to be in the red zone a shitload against the Cardinals here. I have a lot of Kraft and not afraid to say it. I take him a lot in the Dawg Bowl and I take him a lot in the 6 persons.
Okay, to your point there, Nez, 96% of snaps in week 1. Musgrave was there, but banged up 25% of them. And then 80%, 67, the 1 week that Musgrave kind of looked like he was almost back. And then the last 2, 86, 85, they mixed in Ben Sims for blocking purposes, 32% on snaps last week. So to your point, I mean, when you're looking at a snap rate like that amongst tight ends who are running routes, like, yeah, it's pretty solid.
Yeah. No, he could definitely do it. I guess it's just that it's that range here that just feels dicey to me. Like him, and maybe I'm giving Laporta too much credit. Maybe I'm just like whiz-casting the first kind of Laporta blow-up game. But I guess I've just been concerned with Kraft's usage. Before last week, hadn't had more than a 16% target share. So I guess I just still consider him a little bit below like what a McBride and Bowers can do from a target earning standpoint.
The ADP makes sense, right? And the ADOT isn't great either. But like I just that's like my game of the week. Obviously, based on the way I'm talking about it, the Laporta stuff is definitely going to come soon. It's just like all of these, the Lions are just so good that like they don't even, they're not concentrated, but they're just a great team, and we don't know where the points are coming from, and they haven't been concentrated yet. Like Montgomery and Gibbs are like getting 16 points a game every week. Like Amon-Ra hasn't blown up. J-Mo is now cooled off, and like he doesn't look like a monster anymore. It's just like they're all good, but like when are one of these Lions going to win us a week?
Yeah. I think okay. This might be weird to say. Like they're 2 of the highest implied team or game totals on the slate. Like I'm low key souring on Lions and Packers, like just because of how dominant their O-line and the run matchup sets up for both those teams. So I've been lighter on both the passing attacks of Packers and Lions this week.
Yeah,
like number 1 and 2 O-line versus like the worst D lines out there. Period.
Yeah. Well, that's the potential fly in the ointment of the Packers passing game is the Cardinals suck against the run, and Josh Jacobs is just lurking for one of these 2 to 3 touchdown games. Like it's coming one of these weeks. This could definitely be the week. You never want to be so precise that you're saying this is how they're going to score points, because they can do it a lot of different ways, especially with the weapons they're potentially getting back. But I think that's a fair concern. And, you know, I was talking through it with JM just now on Block Party, and he definitely got me like where I became more open to like picking my pieces from the Green Bay Arizona game and not really playing that as a shootout. Whereas like that Dallas Detroit game, it feels like it's going to be, you know, Ravens, you know, Cincy-esque, or just be a slog. Detroit kind of having their way on the ground, Dallas offense still sputtering, and it's like whatever, GG's. But if that game hits, like I do think I want like multiple pieces in my lineup.
Yeah, I think it's a good shout.
Like the one thing I'll say about that game, sorry, John, you're going to make
No, go for it.
The one thing I'll say about that game is I think it could be sort of reminiscent to last night's game, where like if the Lions do Niners stuff and just bully the shit out of them, dominate the clock, but like Geno still threw 300 yards. like right. A lot of that, you know, garbage time, say what you will, but like he still got home. And I think we saw that with like whenever the Packers beat the Cowboys in the playoffs, you know, like they beat the shit out of them, but like Dak still threw for like 1 million yards, just like playing catch up. I think you could see that here in this Lions game, where like it could look like we're 6 minutes into the second quarter. Dak doesn't have 100 yards yet. We're all like kicking ourselves for chasing the chalk, and then second half comes around, and then Dak goes on like 2 or 3 80-yard drives because he's just like chucking shit. Like it's just the way they play.
That's effectively exactly what they did last week against the Steelers. Like they threw for over 300 yards, or he threw for over 300 yards. He just happened to have the interceptions and no red zone success, because he could have potentially broken that slate too, just by doing exactly that, where they just kept throwing.
Yeah. All right, let's do a little wide receiver scrolls, because that's, I feel like, the one position. We talked about Deontay Johnson. I feel like we don't need a ton of conversation at the top. We mentioned Zay and Terry are getting stacked a ton, obviously, with those quarterbacks. Let's get down like past Deontay and start talking about some of the stuff you guys are doing at the end of drafts with wide receivers.
Yeah, mine have. This is kind of why I've preferred to scroll at the running back position, is because like I don't love a lot of these back end options. Like I can make a narrative or like a squeaky wheel situation or whatever for some of these spots, but I honestly don't love it right now. Like I can poke holes in almost everything I'm doing down here. So I've been doing a little bit of like, the JMO stuff to just play like the game environment. I've only done it a handful of times. I like that one from the run more. The George Pickens, like squeaky wheel skinny with Fields, is becoming popular in the Dawg Bowl stuff. Calvin Ridley as a one-off just has been kind of like my favorite one thus far. And I've done Shaheed as a bring back or Olave as a bring back off of the Baker stuff, but it doesn't feel great. And yeah, I mean, there's just, I prefer the green tab. So I've been taking my favorite yellow tab early.
I do agree with you, right? Like a lot of these guys that we're seeing here, the Jameson Williams, the Moonies, the Tolberts, the Wickses, those guys all feel like they need the game environment to get there. Like a lot of times the best scrolls are like, and I'm using this as probably a bad example because it hasn't really played out other than like week one, but like the Keenan Allens, like the guys who can realistically get 10 plus targets. And it's like, they're just not getting drafted. And maybe you can squint a little bit with like the Tennessee guys. I could see Calvin Ridley or Nuke popping up for a 10 target game here. There is some stuff. But it's like, they're either in like bad spots, even a guy like the Lad McConkey's, Cortland Suttons, who always kind of project decent, like no one likes that game environment, or you're having
I don't mind Lad. I don't mind Lad.
You don't mind Lad?
Just as like a one-off. I haven't done it as a skinny stack, but I don't mind Lad this week.
Yeah. But I guess, I'm just kind of agreeing that the scrolls at wide receiver do not feel as cozy as they have in the past.
I don't disagree. I think by definition it's dumpster diving, but I think the scrolls, you just have to scroll past the scrolls to get to the real scrolls.
Ooh, scroll past the scrolls.
Okay, nice.
So here's what everybody's missing is down below, like, these guys look like crap, where you have 4 consecutive wide receivers who I really do like this week.
Can I guess? No. I was going to guess that it involved Jacoby Myers, and then I was going to try to find the range of Jacoby Myers there.
No, Jacoby's interesting. He's at practice today. He's expected to play. Okay. So he's definitely worth it, right? Especially if you want to go from the the viewpoint of taking like a wide receiver 1 that goes undrafted, like you said, like a Keenan type. That can get those 10 targets. Jacoby's that, but I'm Steelers pilled and JPJ pilled, so I'm not going to do any Jacoby. But for me, Michael Wilson, I am just going to continue to draft him until he hits. His usage continues to look good from a fantasy standpoint. Like he's getting 15 A dot last week on 6 targets and 9 targets in week 3, 7 targets in week 4. He continues to get a lot of usage, and the Cardinals like play a sneaky bit of like 12 personnel, and he's the wide receiver 2 there. And so I just see him like being like, one of like just not having that Greg Dortch target competition as well when he's on the field. The usage looks good, and I think that they can get pushed in this spot with Green Bay. So I like Michael Wilson.
Are you scared of the return of Zay Jones?
I don't. Is he coming back this week? I thought he still had a hammy, but like once that does take place, I am like it's going to be annoying.
Mm-hmm. That's the one thing that was scaring me off him this week.
He's not playing this week
for sure. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he won't play this weekend.
Okay.
Per Darren Urban, so nothing to worry about there. So hopefully it's this week, because it might be now or never based on that. But yeah, I like
his
Michael
suspension
Wilson,
was up. Yeah, his suspension was up this week. I didn't know that he wasn't ready yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so not yet. So it's thin, but I like Michael Wilson. I think he's going to hit one of these days. I like Bateman too. Here, maybe I do have ranks going or whatever, but like Rashad Bateman, obviously a good spot against the Commanders. 8 targets against Cincy last week. He's looked better, man. I think that the prodigal son has finally come home for the Ravens. We've been waiting for I feel like Bateman's been like the arrival, and the breakout's been like coming for years for Bateman. In that week 4 matchup against Buffalo, where they just beat the brakes off of the Bills, there was really no usage for him to be had there. But he keeps like having some decent plays in these games. 8 targets against the Bengals, like I said. I think if this game can turn into a shootout, I do think Bateman has a place in scrolling down.
Just to clarify, Nez, though, are these 6-person or 12-person takes, or both?
I would do Lamar with Bateman in 6-person.
In 6, okay.
Yeah, but no naked Bateman in 6-person. But
yeah,
I don't think it's crazy to think like Bateman like scoring like 17 points in the 6-persons and like helping you get there, because I think this is going to be a pretty low scoring week, and I don't think that you're going to need like double 30s from wide receiver. I'm getting there.
Yep. Anything else there? I'll say, but you guys can watch. Go ahead.
I would say the indie stuff. The indie stuff, if we end up getting Flacco, but we probably won't know till Sunday morning, and then I'll be chasing some Flacco singles and stuff like I did last week again. You know what? I think, of all the stuff, we've all seen the splits, Flacco, Anthony Richardson. I honestly think that AD Mitchell could be kind of the tweener that could replicate success with both of them. We already saw he has a weird profile right now where he's only running a fraction of the routes. He had 24% of the routes, but a 58% targets per route run last week. So when he's on the field, like, they are getting him looks. Just the way his game can be used, like the manufactured touch is close, and like the deep bombs, like we even saw kind of early in week 1 with Richardson. So I think he's a really fun play, and you can almost play it immune to like not worrying about the game time decision with Anthony Richardson, because I think Mitchell could succeed in either of those environments. Like it. I gotta hit mostly. Sorry. Yeah. I was just gonna say I'll mostly save mine for the Deposit Kingdom video, but I am into the Saints passing game. I think you got the narrative of Rattler saying he's just gonna force feed Olave 1 million targets. Shaheed, I think, is a really strong play, and it's basically just, what if Rattler isn't a huge downgrade from Carr? What if Clint Kubiak can put him in positions to succeed? He is not the kind of quarterback who plays scared, from what the Dynasty Bros and the college evaluators tell me. He's going to like take shots down the field. We like that. Shaheed has been like the 1A there. I'm willing in both 6-mans and 12-mans to do Saints passing game stuff. People forget that. Okay, here's an ugly comparison, but let me walk with it. People forget that Spencer Rattler was like QB1 in his class for like a while, and he was like literally on that QB1 show, and then he did the red shirt year at Oklahoma, and then he balled out, and then Caleb Williams ripped his job, and then he transferred and wasn't as good, and his draft stock plummeted because of it, kind of thing. But he's the Chuba Hubbard of the quarterback position, because I get
it, because I was like, good.
He was number 1 in his class. Everyone thought he was going to be like a first-round pick or like 101. Then he gets hurt. Then he moves schools. Chuba didn't move schools, but like he moved schools, and then comes out. It's like the post-hype breakout after the fact, because people just like left him for dead kind of deal. This is redemption tour Rattler. Yeah. No, it's funny. It's like people are poo-pooing this. Like,
in the chat, like there's a reason he doesn't have an ADP. There's a reason Rashid Shaheed is not getting drafted in any of these. They're free. If they were locked plays, they would be going much earlier. On Redacted, it is a much funner conversation because Rattler is the stone minimum at quarterback.
Fallen just victim to that in cash before.
Yeah, 14 points for Rattler in cash could probably get you there. But yeah, I think we're also talking about a Bucs defense that just gave up 500 plus passing yards to Kirk Cousins. Like this is not an awful spot here either. So yeah, let the scroll down bros do their thing. You can draft your 100% owned Jordan Love or whatever at everyone, and we'll fuck around and find out with Spencer Rattler.
I love it. Can I hit on one? Okay, one last one that's wide receiver related that was just in the chat. Someone asked Dontavian Wicks is the blank of blank, and I got it now. Okay. Dontavian Wicks is the Josh Gordon of Jake Kumeros.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll trust
Josh Gordon. The Gordon.
Josh Gordon of Jake Kumeros.
My goodness. All right. I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Let's do a couple running back ones here.
Well, yeah, we did. We talked about some of them here. We were talking about the Najee thing. We mentioned the Rico thing. Do you have any others? We obviously have some injury situations. Brian Robinson, game time. What do you think, Nez?
Yeah, it's pissing me off, right? Like there's so much ambiguity at the running back position that it makes it really tough to make these scroll down clicks in dog bowls because if you take Eckler and Brian Robinson is in, like Eckler cannot get home. Like I just don't think that can happen if Brian Robinson is playing. I know Eckler's been really efficient and he's been good. If Brian Robinson is active, Eckler's not getting home with Brian Robinson active, and it's a thorn in the side here. Bucky and Rashad is the same thing. Bucky and Rashad are a sick little 1-2 punch right now. I don't think Bucky is taking over like we thought. I just think that they're just complementing one another. But Rashad White, if he does not go, and I don't think it's trending that way, he becomes awesome. But if Rashad is playing, I can't really do Bucky. So no. I just don't want to be really left down here. The one scroll that I am doing is Tyjae Spears. I think he has the benefit of a great matchup, just like Tony Pollard, and he got 15 carries. I know that that was just a helpless Miami team that they played, but Spears got a lot of run, way more run than I was expecting. They both look good. The Colts defense, I think is not that good. The numbers say that they're better than I'm giving them credit for. If Spears can find his way into the end zone and or get some passing work here against this Colts defense, just where he goes, I don't think it's the worst play in the world for dog bowls.
I don't either. I just have a lot of interest in the passing elements with the Titans here, and Spears can obviously be a big part of that. And I'm on Pollard. I think he's a good play, but it's also not hard to envision how that fails. But the Titans still score some points on the Colts. And then that's a big part of either Spears being involved or the passing game. I think one of Ridley or DeAndre. So I like that call out.
I'm kind of opposite to you guys where I want to try and take the binary outcome, punt till the 6th round and then just hope I strike gold kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So that's what makes me like the running back position this week. So that's what makes me like Austin Eckler. That's what makes me like Bucky Irving. That's what makes me kind of like Antonio Gibson.
Just we got confirmed Ramondre's out too, so we know that we're getting the touches there.
The thing is, John, though, do you have to take that risk on now? Even if we get the word over Saturday night that these things, are they going to move up enough that you actually feel like you missed out, or can you just wait and get your exposure to these guys when we get more news later in the weekend?
Probably the latter. You're probably correct. I maybe combo wise, it'd be harder to get some of the wide receivers all paired together and then add them on. But yeah, you're right. The closing line value won't necessarily be there. I just think it's my preferred way to build. I guess the closing line value would be there on like Mixon. That would
Eckler.
probably be like the one.
It'll be there on Eckler. People are already taking Eckler in the 4th round in Dawg Bowls. Like, he's going ahead of Brian Robinson in Dawg Bowls right now. I know he's a game time decision. If we get that not expected to play news, Eckler is going to fly upwards. Like, I think he's going to go past Najee and past Dobbins. Like very quickly.
I'll take Eckler straight up. Like, because both you guys like Spears, I'll take Eckler over Spears, like straight up right now, even if Brian Robinson plays. Like, I'd bet that one.
Here's the reason I can't get on board with Eckler. Jeremy McNichols is an issue. He is playing. They are giving him high value touches in the red zone. He had the big game in week 4 and then got another end zone touch last week. That's the only thing that like really scares me. It's like not as clean of him just fully taking that over.
Yep, that is true.
Yep. All right. Let's you guys want to hop in the Deposit Kingdom contest that's live here?
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. Shout out. Yeah, I got the bat signal from Hope that it is up here. I believe we are running back. Where is it? We are running back the same structure as last week. We got the 3-entry max, 2K to first, so 1,656 entrants here. And let's see, I can show you guys the prize pool a little bit here. Let me get my overlay set so it's not as hidden here. So yeah, 2K first, 1K to second, 900, and then it kind of smooths on down. We'll pay out a 1.5 min cash down to 250th place. Let's hop in here, guys. And as we're kind of doing it, obviously the big topic of conversation last week were the Joe Burrow double stacks getting home everywhere. And if you played in any of the small field contests, you actually saw a decent amount of the Joe Burrow doubles. Relative to it hitting, they were very underutilized in the big BR. Do you guys have any thoughts on maybe some things people should be thinking about in these smaller contests, like a Deposit Kingdom with less than 1,700 entrants?
I'm definitely warming up to the notion of like dense correlation, especially on a slate that has like, 50s, and then 35s in terms of like game totals, right? So playing game environment stuff makes a lot of sense to me. It is kind of aping into like some bad ownership at times if it's not done in the scroll capacity. But like the Baker double stuff in like the smaller field stuff just sticks out like a sore thumb to me right now. But if everybody feels that way, might have to find a cheeky little pivot off of it and, get maybe creative with like some Cousins doubles or something like that. But I think you're onto something. But the counter to it, Pete, is how many people listen to Pete that play the small field stuff on Underdog that have seen now Pete have success in DeBomb with that strategy, seen Pete have success with the strategy. Now is the field going to catch up in a capacity that's like now it's detrimental to try and play some of these doubles? It's the kind of yin yang question.
Yeah, maybe. I still think, one of the things we talked about it at the top of the show, right? The kind of autopilot nature, letting a draft come to you. One of the things you really have to do when you are setting up these double stacks is like be very intentional with it. You almost have to go in with the plan of like, this is when I'm doing that draft. And because it's super easy to get distracted. I'm not saying you always then have to stick to it. Let's make our pick here. Lamar, Gibbs, Bijan, Drake, Reed. What are you guys doing at 1-5? Are you taking the Lamar plunge?
No, I'm not, but you guys do as you see fit. I would take Gibbs here.
What do you like, Nez?
I'm doing Bijan.
Okay. Wow. All right. I'll just break tie in favor of the ADP and we'll grab Gibbs. But I think I'm with you guys. I have not loved that Lamar ADP there this week. Drake, Reed, AJ Brown, Kamara. What do we like?
I like Drake.
What do you like, Nez?
I like Drake and I also like AJ Brown.
Okay. Let's see. We got a little consensus there. We didn't get Bijan, so let's go ahead and say the tutties are coming through Drake London on this one. But sorry,
about Bijan's status.
Well, I want to finish this thought, and then I want to get Nez's official Bijan take. But I was just gonna say about that. I don't think it'll ever become like super, super popular if it requires the double stack thing. If it requires one thing that is uncomfortable or off the beaten path, right? So like you do have to scroll this week to go get Baker. You know, a flip side example would be you're going to see a ton of CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, Dak Prescott teams. You do not have to go out of your way. It lines up really nicely. It's very comfy. And so those are the things I would be thinking about, like how comfy is my double stack? Because if it's super comfy, you are going to be going against a ton of Dak Ferg, CeeDee Lamb teams. I actually don't think you're going to be going against a ton of, you know, Godwin, Evans, Baker, and certainly if you include Cade Otton, then you're well off the beaten path. So that's kind of my only thought about it. AndNej, you want to give us the Bijan thing here in a second after we make these couple of picks?
Yeah, the State of the Union, the Bijan State of the Union.
Yeah, no, he's clearly banged up. I think that there's no doubt about that, but that he's maybe playing a little bit hurt, but he still looks good on the field, man. Okay, on the clock here.
So we could set up a Baker double with Evans and Otton here. We could. I've definitely been warming to Jacobs.
Yeah, let's do Jacobs. Let's do Jacobs and then take whichever Tampa Bay wide receiver comes up and go Baker double with whichever Tampa wide receiver comes back.
It could be fun.
I have a ton of Josh Jacobs this week. A ton.
Yeah, he's a good play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Arizona #1 in expected fantasy points allowed versus opposing running backs. Like, they're just bad on defense.
It's honestly, I don't know, man. I need a good week so I can get my confidence back. I think it's crazy Josh Jacobs is not like a top 10 pick. Like, I don't know how he's not going ahead of Montgomery consistently in these drafts.
The S words agree with you.
The Gumbies.
The S words. We're not allowed to Pete, it's the new redacted. We're not allowed to say the S word anymore on stream.
According to who?
According to me, I made it up yesterday.
Why is it a dirty word? Because it alienates viewers who just want us to put our nuts on the table and tell them who the best plays are?
Yeah, because we're not like that. We're the scroll bros.
Exactly. Yeah, so we did the Evans thing, set up the double.
I'm not trying to evolve with the games here.
trying to know some ball. So yeah, Bijan, man.
John. The crunches, it alienates John. That's so perfect.
The Bijan take is that, like, I know that he's like constantly banged up, but like he was banged up last week and then played, like, showed good stuff. They just like are not giving him the usage, which is frustrating, and I can understand being off him because of that. However, there's two teams that have a higher implied total this week, and that's it on the slate. And when you have a high total and you're against the Panthers, and the Panthers have just given up fantasy points to everybody, especially the running back position, like, take Bijan here. If we didn't have the weirdness going on, like, I think Bijan would be a 102, 103 pick. But like, you know, we've had the strange start to the season, and wow. And he's watching.
He come to the Dawg Bowl, damn it, Crashridge. We know you're watching, dude. Come on.
See, this is where you get. Are we scrolling to Cade Otton here?
Yeah. Well, what's available? You want to do the Bowers thing? I'm good with the Bowers thing. It's probably enough of a scroll just to get to Baker in this contest.
I think
want to do it, but I'm super happy to get to Otton. It's your entry.
Yeah, let's see. What I like to do is get a secondary correlation in here. Okay. So let's play Gibbs Laporta. And then we'll scroll to Baker here. Yes, for the audio listeners, we're laughing because in this 6-person really small contest, Crash Rich took Spencer Rattler in the 5th round here. Beauty. So it has to be lurking in the shadows.
It's gonna be hard to show restraint and not say what's up. I'm sure of it. I mean,
so I don't think you got to finish your Bijan thing fully, Nez.
I mean, they just have the high expected points. The matchup is like as good as it gets in the NFL. And I mean, Kirk Cousins also, I mean, he threw like 80 times last week. I think he is starting to look a little bit better. And I think as he goes, the rest of the offense can start to go as well. What if they just like want to give Bijan some touchdowns because he hasn't like scored a lot, and they just find themselves in prime position to like give him a Make-A-Wish touchdown. On top of that, I mean, that's always great when you're talking about a top 5 fantasy pick and they're giving him a pity touchdown. But like, I mean, it's just a fantastic spot for him, man. And like, I know that he's banged up and the usage isn't there, but like, I don't know how you can say that Bijan's like raw ceiling is just not one that is like have to have. So I'm taking him, and if he kills me again, then you know what, it's over.
I agree with you. I think that like Bijan versus Kamara conversation is kind of interesting this week, but like there's a lot of ways, like outside of Barkley, who I do think is just kind of a lock right now. Like you can poke holes in the Gibbs, you can poke holes in like all of those guys up there, and like Bijan's certainly like the best of that like second tier of running back plays, like after Barkley.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that he's sort of like Gibbsy range of outcomes right now. Like I think the ceiling is somewhat limited, but I still think that in his range of outcomes is like one of the most efficient running backs in football. Like we just see him make moves and look like unlike any other running back in football. And maybe the eye test is just like losing me like money week after week, but I can't not like take Bijan in this spot if I'm saying these things and he's up against the Carolina Panthers with a 26.5 implied total. Like I have to take Bijan here. Like
there are shades of like us around this time last year with Tony Pollard, right? Wasn't there even a matchup against the Panthers too, where it was like, no, this is the Tony.
This is the time. But I 100%. Just go back and look.
Can we look up that? God, this was back when he was on Cowboys 23 schedule. Sorry, Nez, we're gonna do this.
It's all right. I probably need this.
Let's see here.
They put up 33 points.
33 points against the Panthers. So this was November 19th. So it was a little later along the way, but we were still getting dragged along. Oh, yeah, he did have the touchdown, right?
Yeah.
It was like the saddest, like 12 for 61 and 1, no pass game involvement. I guess 4 for 19, but it wasn't what like if Bijan gives you this week, you're going to be a sad boy, right, Nez?
Yeah, it's gonna be very sad.
We might have a new redacted on the program. Yeah, Clay just said in the chat, we might have a new redacted, dude.
Oh,
hey,
man.
Nez, just remember, Debo got home last night.
Oh, I know. Hey, nobody's got more Bijan Debo combos than me and BBM, so I'm just hanging my hat on that.
I shot Leone a message and I was like, I literally like called my shot before the game. I said, how relieved are you that Debo's not on the main slate after his infamously bullish projection last week? And he said, very relieved. I said, he is going to go nuke for you tonight. And that is
good
exactly
for Leone.
What happened. Yeah. So he doesn't have to be quite under fire for the inputs on Debo Samuel going forward. All right, let's see here, guys. You guys want to do a little dog bowl here? Pivot to some 12 person.
Let's click it and see what happens.
Are you going in?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. Yeah.
We got five people, so we should be good.
All right, there we go.
All right, and I'm cracking a beer, guys. The whole point is being off the clock. I think it might be time to crack a beer here. Nez and I had mentioned that I might be cracking a beer tonight. We got the babysitter going out for dinner later, so it's like, let's do a little happy hour off the clock here.
Beautiful. Where are you guys going
beer
for
crack
dinner?
ASMR?
Doing some Italian tonight, a place we haven't tried yet. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, sorry, I didn't do ASMR. I just opened it.
Oh, Sounds of Summer? Here, I got you guys.
It Sounds of Summer.
I'm going with my Modella Negra. Here, I got to get my koozie.
There you go.
I'm a Especial right now.
Actually, Nez, while we were perusing the lobby there, I would be remiss not to give a shout out to CPS DFS, who is new to the community, but attributed us as the reason he hopped in the puck streets, wanted to become a multi-sport drafthlete. And what does he do on 5 bullets last night? He ships the puck slate. So just a great reminder to everybody, man, that the knowledge in which, not necessarily even us are spitting, but like the community is spitting is it's transferable, right? It's a transferable skill set out here. Don't be afraid to hop in some of those other sports, some of the other streets while you're hanging out.
Yeah. Shout out to him. That's always cool, man. That's that never gets old, hearing like, getting those nice messages like, hey, you helped me do this or got me into that. Like that never gets old. That's sweet.
And it's actually also crazy recently that it's happening every damn day. Like it's
been happening a lot.
It's been nuts since the start of football season.
Yeah.
And that's a good reminder. If you guys are watching this, all of us are hanging out in the Deposit Kingdom Discord. We got the Badge Bros channels in there. There's lots of general channels, and we also have some of the paid ones as well for some premium chats. But hop in the Deposit Kingdom Discord, a good place to kind of continue the conversation around all of this stuff. We got the link down below, and become YouTube members on the channel. Support the Badge Bros. The Nez, are we getting a premium no strip stream tonight?
We are, yeah. I've got
Nice.
a busy day. I'm doing a show with Meg from Fanspeak
Nice.
a little bit after this.
Nice.
And that's gonna be recorded. It won't be live. And then then no strip tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern for the Coastal Elites.
Nice.
9 p.m. Central God's time.
Look at this, Nez. I'm going to do this for you. We in the previous draft, we just took, Gibbs over Bijan, but Nez just gave me, the rallying cry I needed to click Bijan Robinson here. I'm doing it for you, Nez.
This is shades of last week whenever I was like telling people to draft Joe Burrow. Like Joe Burrow is going to be in the winning lineup. And then like, I'm just like on the outside looking in at all the Bijan teams going crazy. And I've got nothing because I was pairing them with, Rashad Bateman.
Oh, I like that call.
At least the steam though, like on Bijan, Nez, like if you can, the equivalent of you getting Joe Burrow from like a 6th to a 3rd would be to move Bijan up like a half pick of ADP. So it's going to be a lot less noticeable than the Joe Burrow and Michael Wilson effects of previous weeks.
That's true. I don't know. Now that my ROI has been so bad, I don't think I'm having the same market effects that I was having in weeks past. I got a little full of myself and crash and burn in the draft streets. Now, like everybody just like, okay, now we know Nez is playing. I don't care. I'm no longer moving markets.
Dude, don't be results oriented. Always be full of yourself, bro.
That's the problem.
Don't be results oriented.
I need the
lean on your
hubris.
past. Lean on your
hubris.
past priors, dude.
Yeah, I'm just like, I got my tail between my legs. Like, I'm gonna try this. We'll see if it works. Like, it's not good. It's not good.
Oh,
it is funny, like talking about. We were talking about the elite tight ends. And a lot of times, and John was talking about kind of the cliff, the ADP cliff, and the 6-mans like after pick 10 or 11. And so I'll often take like the McBride, Bowers, Laportas like in the 3rd round in the 6-mans, and then you can get those same guys in the 3rd round of the 12-mans this week too. Like those guys have just. I got Laporta in the. I want to say it was close to the 3-4 turn. It was the backside of the board. Like those tight ends drop like stones.
Absolutely, yeah.
Of course,
did
as
consider
Trey McBride goes here at 16.
I did consider McBride right there. I'm not gonna lie. In this room, yeah, potentially. This is a sicko room. Like we got 12 red badges. We got Johnny Footballs who just won the PTP. We got Mark who won Deposit Kingdom earlier. Chris who's always flirting with the top of those leaderboards. EDN3's in all these damn things. Wu-Tang Killer Bees. The Sim God himself, Crutches. Like this is crazy, man. Goat Naft was hanging out in the chat. Gut P is in every single draft. Joshua has been winning everything. He already took down a football slate. Like this is a true sickos of sickos room right now.
Yeah. Let's see. What do we want to do here? I think I'll just take Evans.
Yeah, I took Godwin over Evans because I'm drinking the Kool-Aid there.
I can't wait.
Throw down.
You and I wrestling for Baker and Kate Otten in this draft is going to be a ton of fun.
Fuck me.
I was telling rock paper scissors.
Yeah, just truce it out, man.
We'll do ones and twos, and you'll throw paper.
No, I'm just gonna take him in the 3rd alpha move.
Oh man! Hey, shout out to Big Ass Ryan who's hanging out in the chat who took down 2 baseball slates the last couple nights too.
That's such an awesome name. I love that screen name.
Yeah, there's some ones on Underdog that have just been grandfathered in that just stay. Like Cowboy the fuck up. Like it's been grandfathered in. He's a red badger. It's just on there forever now. Like,
all right,
that'd be funny if it would get censored.
I wanted to ask. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I just think he was so OG that it just got missed in the initial run, and now they're just like, we can't do it now.
Yeah. I was gonna ask Pete, when you go to Italian restaurants, what's your like go-to?
Great question. I like the two things I'll do will be like a bolognese is one of my go-tos.
Nice.
And then occasionally I'll be into, if I think they have a really good gnocchi.
Ooh, that's what I was
I'll
waiting
go with
for.
that.
Yeah, I'm a gnocchi boy. I love it's
Yeah.
like the Polish in me. I love just like potato doughy based
Yeah.
pastas and whatnot. So that's my big move is the gnocchi. What about
The
you?
issue with the bolognese, you often get like the meat sauce with it, whereas sometimes like the bolognese, I feel like I need a little extra meat. That's the only hang up there.
Need the protein. Need the protein.
John, what are you scrolling down for at the Italian restaurant?
I mean, it depends how Italian we're going, but I'm a big gnocchi guy as well. So like that's kind of one of my go-tos. I do like doing like the chicken parm stuff and like that if we're doing like whitewashed Italian. But if
whitewashed Italian,
that's what it is, North Americanized.
I love John's like it depends on how Italian we're getting. Like when you're in Sicily, John, what are you getting? Like
gnocchi, or like the grandma's bolognese in the back, like that kind of thing. Actually, there was a heater that we went on, Havar Island, like Starry Grad, like whatever. I went gnocchi like 5 straight nights, like just. Every night, every ma and pa like restaurant like along the water, like every time. Yeah.
This is what I'm gonna do for Nez. I'm gonna draft the all Nez team. I'm gonna draft. I honestly do this a lot of time in my 12-person drafts where I kind of get exposure to the guys I'm not taking in the 6-persons, and I will concede Kate Otten to John, and I'm gonna take I was gonna take Tucker Kraft. I just did this full long-winded thing. And then EDN takes Tucker Kraft after before Sam Laporta.
Literally right under your mouse.
We're pivoting. This whole long-winded thing. God, everyone's funny. Just trolling in this draft.
I'm dead.
I keep
EDN's always tilting people.
I was ready for my back door. I was gonna take Wicks or Dobbs there. We're gonna have a grand old time. Fucking EDN. Dude, and he has a Mon Ra. Whatever. I'm over it. Clearly.
And, doesn't want that double stack.
I kind of like that. Like you do if you did the Amon Ra, or you maybe you get a running back from the Lions, I guess Montgomery there, and then you play like Jaden as like the higher ceiling than Goff, where you're like, I'm not going to take Goff, but can I get the higher ceiling and still get access to that game? God, yeah. Right after the Italian rant to not get some Kraft on my team.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been perfect. Yeah.
John goes with Mixon. Why? Can you just let me have one of these games? It's like, I guess I started it by taking Evans, but then I grabbed Tank Dell and you take Mixon.
That's an early Mixon
in your lane,
too,
bro. Yeah,
I don't know, man. Like they just want to establish it so hard, and that game could be so ugly, especially if like Drake May can't push pace on the other side. Like they've gone to the air the last couple of weeks, and it like hasn't been exactly what they wanted. And now there's no Nico. Doesn't it just feel like they come out and be like, "How do we win this football game? Old school, like just dominate the line of scrimmage." They know they have the best mismatch of the week with their D line versus O-line on the other side, and then you just grind clock and run football on the other side of the ball.
No, to me right now, it feels like Tank Dell turns into Nico Collins. That's kind of what it feels like to me right now.
I'm sure that's what a lot of people are hoping.
Yeah.
Nez, you took Devontae Smith in the 3rd. Would you have snap picked Deontay Johnson if he was there?
Yeah, no? I think so. I let him fall because I wanted to set up some Cowboy stuff. Obviously, if you take Ferg, you would like to have Dak. So I would have taken Deontay definitely, but I'm trying to set up some Dak doubles. But we'll see if I can accomplish that now that I've let everybody know what my goal is here. The Kamara stuff was really weird, man. Like, I think everybody sort of thought, I don't know what happened, but like he missed practice Wednesday and people just, maybe it was the Spencer Rattler thing. I don't think people thought that he was going to play because he was falling into the 20s for BR. Now, I mean, Crutches takes him 8. I think he's going to start climbing up. The matchup does like concern me, but
this is what I mean. Look at Laporta's ADP right now. We are in the middle of the 4th round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put him in
That's
my
crazy.
queue. No, Crutches isn't going to let him go by. I'm gonna threaten the room by putting him in my queue.
Yeah, you can't sim well if you pass on Laporta here.
Yeah.
I thought we weren't allowed to say that word, John.
Oh shit! My bad. One sip of beer, and all of a sudden, Freudian slip.
Oh, I did. Okay, what? We're taking Kyle Pitts ahead of Sam Laporta. Am I taking crazy pills? I thought this team had fucking Dalton Schultz written all over it, but I am not taking Dalton Schultz over Sam fucking Laporta at pick 43.
Ooh. You're just putting good football players together.
That's what we do, man. We just play the best plays, except when I scroll down to Spencer Rattler, Rashid Shaheed stacks.
Do I do a spite pick here?
A spite pick?
This entire draft is off the rails. I think you just you lean into it. Who do you want to spite? Crutches? Yeah.
Staking the claim on Dak to get your Tolbert stuff. Not in my house, buddy.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes.
You're gonna take Dak from me when I got Tolbert's already gone. Tolbert's already gone.
Who takes Tolbert? You got to let someone else do the spite for you.
Great job, Johnny. You're the king. You're the king, bro. Maybe I could spite the commenter that didn't like the Saints stuff. That would be pretty fun.
Nez is like really reaching for Baltimore. Who was that one commenter who said this 4 years ago? I'm gonna get him with this pick.
He was really upset that we suggested Spencer Rattler in a great matchup. Let's be clear, that is a fantastic spot. I went Kyler because I actually think this game's gonna shoot out. I'm a chalk donkey chasing this. I think Kyler, when forced, is gonna have a good game, and I think he's gonna be forced here.
Well, I would say, Nez, with all the spite going on in this draft room, I would not let Michael Wilson go past pick 51.
Hell no. he's in the queue.
Okay.
It's getting ugly out here. I sniped.
So we see.
Oh, good.
I was just gonna say Bucky going at 44 here, so already kind of playing Rachaad White game time decision stuff pretty aggressively.
Antonio Gibson there too.
I might. I might have to take a detour from the spite tour and make a pick here that normally is not on the board. Eckler's been like a 4th round pick consistently in these drafts. So you know what happened is we talked about McNichols and got everybody off him. And now I'm remembering that McNichols is a problem as well.
Take him.
Yeah, I mean, in this room specifically, running back is done. I mean, we can find some day.
Yeah.
I mean, it got pretty toast.
You can find touches, but it's pretty toast. Yeah.
See, and now I'm in the spot. I guess there's not a huge opportunity cost. I'm going to take Stroud here because I got the Bucks drafter, the Chris Godwin drafter behind me, and I got the Diggs drafter. I don't think he's going to let Stroud go by him twice. So I think I got to pull the trigger here on my quarterback. The question is, do I do Baker or Stroud? See, I'm going to have way more Baker in the 6-mans, I think. So we'll go Stroud here. John, he'll live to see another day.
I gave myself outs at least though, because I have the Cousins out too. And then you can always do Naked Richardson.
Yeah. I guess I have Goff's already long gone. Yeah.
The Richardson one's interesting because, like, I don't know. I've been taking this guy so effing high for so long, and now you got no Jonathan Taylor, maybe no Pittman, which was bizarre that he was back in gear at practice today, which is just crazy because we thought he was IR candidate, right?
That's what they said.
I thought they put him on IR, so they never actually did.
No, and then they said he was on the sidelines or something like that today, catching balls with his jersey on. Bizarre. I don't know if he gets a designation.
Yeah, we haven't gotten the
anything like that. Yeah,
that's a problem. Yeah, that's like really confusing. I guess the only thing that you can like say is like, well, it's the Titans. Don't really have to worry about it if you don't want to. You can probably safely ignore that spot for the Colts players. I think Titans look very, very good.
I mean, just buying like
obviously
buying some like Trey Sermon volume there is not the craziest thing in the world. I got an interesting decision here if I want to do my Taysom thing and like set up a bring back off the Never off the Tampa Bay stuff, or if I want to do Kate Otten.
I mean,
I'll
like,
just let the room.
Like what percentage do you think Taysom is to play?
Oh, that's a tough question. If he practices today or not. Like, I'm scared of those 2 DMPs. I was scared of like the bruised lung and now ribs, like enough to knock Taysom out of a game. Yeah, it's pretty thin.
I mean, his ribs are fractured.
Yeah, but he's also nails.
He is nails. Taysom nails.
Counterpoint. He is nails.
I forgot to put that in my model. That's very true.
Yeah. This ain't no Jordan Mason AC joint situation, boys. This is Taysom fucking Hill.
I know it's not really.
Hey, Jerry, this isn't. You parked your car in the wrong place. Would you take BTJ at a late 24 first for CD PPR Dynasty?
I don't want to pump our bags, but I think we know that we are like gaining popularity. We've been getting a lot more managed league comments in our streams lately, so I think we're gaining traction.
Yeah.
You guys need to talk about the. I'm sorry.
The scroll down trade calculator is what you guys can release.
Scroll down.
GA wants me to go Baltimore tight end here. I think I just double stack it up.
You go Cade.
Yeah, I'm going Cade.
Be in Dallas.
Yeah.
Do you guys like Diggs this week? I was gonna. We don't really talk about. We more so are looking for the leverage plays on this show, but like, I think I really like Diggs this week, but we just haven't really seen a ceiling from him. So I think everybody's like worried, and the price is not cheap. Like, I'm taking Jaden Reed over Diggs.
Right. Yes. I think that I agree. The ceiling thing has been tough, right? Like, they're using him. They are manufacturing him touches, and like he gets a high floor, but like, does he have it in him? Like 150-yard 2-tutty game? Like, is that even in his game right now? You know,
I think it's like 90-2. You know, it's the touchdowns that he's getting home. Which obviously 90-2 you take, but you know, I don't think that we have monster ceilings left in Diggs' game.
I've been normally clicking Shaheed here, and maybe I should have because I have Evans, but I've been wanting to try to get some more DeAndre too.
Yeah, the Hopkins one we talked about on I guess whatever Wednesday show or something like that. The Hopkins and Ridley stuff is very interesting. Like, just in terms of like, that's how you beat that defense. This is a get right spot. This is coming out of the bye. Maybe Hopkins is finally healthy. Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, Ridley's on the field for every play. But since Hopkins has been back, his target earning has really dipped. I honestly don't mind double stacking those guys. I think I'll get to. I mean, I've already done a Rattler double in here. I'll have a Will Levis double in the Dawg Bowl.
Nice.
But yeah, I think ideally I'd rather play those guys as like one-offs. Pick a nuke, pick a Ridley 6th round.
Interesting to see Ridley go undrafted in this one. Oh, he might go with this last pick to Chris.
Yeah, and Shaheed.
Yeah, Shaheed's been going undrafted.
People are scared of the Q tag.
Scared of Rattler and the Q tag.
Yeah, and Rattler.
Yeah, the combo. That seems like just like obvious leverage, right? I mean, the matchup almost like trumps that. Like, we know. I mean, we kind of know he's going to play. He said he's good to go. Rattler, I think, can have success like we talked about, and now you have the matchup. I think that makes him a great pick.
All right, let's recap our teams here. Nez, tell us about yours.
Yeah, went Derrick Henry 3. Haven't always been doing that. Normally been doing Amon-Ra, but Derrick Henry's projections look out of this world. And you know, if there's anybody who doesn't care about a strong or strongish defensive running back matchup, it's Derrick Henry. So when Derrick Henry, took Jake Ferguson in the 2nd round. At wide receiver, I went Devontae Smith, Amari Cooper, and Michael Wilson. Stack that Michael Wilson up with Kyler Murray. That's I guess you can call it my scroll of the week. I think I'm going to be one of very few people with Michael Wilson in the Dawg Bowls, let alone any other contest. So yeah, go Kyler.
All right, John. You know, a tale as old as time for you. Baker double stacks. Tell us about the squad.
Slap. Yeah, Drake London, like the spot, like attacking that game through the air more so than Bijan with the Q tag right now. Chris Godwin, I'm just playing the hits here instead of the Mike Evans. stuff in terms of just matchup with Marshawn Lattimore. Joe Misdemeanor, which remains redacted in my mind, but is a really good spot. Najee, hopefully the touches and volume materialize into a touchdown finally. And then Baker double to round it out there. Wouldn't have hated, just tacking on Taysom Hill there for some variance, because I know I can swap to Kate Otten for like non-Baker drafters. So contemplated that, but yeah, not bad.
Yep. I like that team. I started with Bijan. I will be sending Nez an invoice for $25 if he doesn't go for 25 points. Then came back and took Mike Evans, who I'm told is going to get ejected, but scored 2 touchdowns before that. Then I rage tilted. What was I upset about? Oh yeah, I was going to take Tucker Kraft. I was just like fully prepared to set up a little Jordan Love thing here with Tucker Kraft. No. So we pivoted to Tank Dell. Then I was fully prepared to be taking like a Dalton Schultz or something here until Sam Laporta fell to pick 43. Man, what a fall from grace there. Grabbed CJ Stroud for the double stack or the skinny stack with Tank, and then took Hopkins to round it out.
Nice. There's some very interesting picks on this board.
There were.
Yeah, like Alec Pierce on a non A-Rich or Flacco team. Turpin as a back stack for the Dak stuff there. Xavier Legette as leverage off Deontay Johnson Q tag, coupled with the fact that he's said he's good to go. Obviously, Nez is Michael Wilson. And then naked Kirk Cousins in the last round there, just QB7 falling to a point where you're just kind of like, fuck it, I guess. Fields got sniped from him. I imagine he was setting up the George Pickens, and then Chris just sniped Fields on him.
And then I wonder if he Dalton. Yeah, I did. I did a Dalton Dawg Bowl team earlier today. I kind of like it. I did a Dalton Chuba Deontay and just grab those 3.
It seems concentrated. I mean, it seems good.
Yeah.
The Xavier Legette stuff, might introduce a little bit of variance to that. But like
I like him again this week. Yeah.
Sorry, Nez, Legette you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seems good.
Yeah. All right, guys. Should we do what we do best and spice it up? Pick 'em time.
Yeah. Let me send a bat signal out on twitter.com.
Man, we were absolutely directionally accurate last night, both the ship chasing stuff and the show stuff there, Nez. The kicker streak unfortunately came to an end there, but man, we had some good stuff with the Ken Walker fantasy points, the Deebo Samuel stuff. Like, man, there's a lot of green on this that just didn't materialize.
Yeah, it was a shame that the kicker pick didn't get home. But I'd rather, if I'm going to lose, I'd rather just lose big, right? Let's just be way wrong if I'm going to be. And I was way wrong. That lost very, very early, so that's fine. It's totally fine.
Well, I'm just looking at how many 2 out of 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2 out of 3s from yesterday. Like, we had the Geno passing attempts, we had the Kyle Juszczyk receiving yards get there. The Jordan Mason lower 8.5 receiving yards, and he got 9 before getting hurt, and then you don't get rescued because you lost. Like, that one stings.
He actually ended up getting rescued.
Yeah, but not when he already cleared the receiving yards. You only get rescued on like the fantasy point stuff or like the attempt stuff.
This was our hit from last week. This one was super fun because we've been picking a game that we wanted to target, and we all came together to get this one. Tucker Kraft, higher 3.5 receptions. Jane Reed, higher 65.5. The Narv Dog, the kicker whisperer, Nez gave us this 3 extra points, which was, I love that call. Whittington, 4.5 receptions. I think that was the John special. And then Colby Parkinson, who had like 16 targets or something, cleared higher than 3.5 receptions. So this is what we'll do. I'm going to set the menu ahead of time. We are going to build a core. We are going to build an expanded core. We are going to do a game stack. We are going to have a spice core. perhaps an expanded spice core, and then we will have a haterade build. So I hope you guys are ready to build some pickups.
Yeah, the cores are easy, right? They go 3. It's 3. It's easy. We'll keep it quick.
That was good bake roll management off the top. Like, just like, all right, everyone pace themselves.
That's right.
Go 100, don't go 100, 100, 100, 100. Like, pace yourself here. Maybe a couple 25s.
How Underdog this year wanted to let, they started announcing like the contest in advance so people could prep it. I'm telling you, don't blow your load on the core because an expanded core is coming. Okay. There will be a second beer in a second. Just relax.
Actually, guys, I don't know if you saw this, but like Dylan needs help. Like he needs help with like 3 extra.
What is this, Dylan?
Dylan needs help.
Dylan, come on, buddy. This is too much.
Dylan, you need help?
There's not even a question here.
This
Play
is
fucking
too much.
basketball. Play basketball, dude. Go play on Underdog.
But there's not even a question.
You know why I'm offended? This part, there's a lot that I'm offended with, but probably the thing that offends me the most is the Bigsby have ETN. I mean, the second you reveal yourself as a handcucker in manage, I can't help you. All right. You are beyond being helped. Pick one. You're either on Team Bigsby or ETN. There are bad people on both sides, and you have to pick a side.
Actually, shout out Easy because I was a big tank guy with my scroll stuff because he got me on that one late in draft season, and I ended up with a really nice set of tank Bigsby bags.
Yeah. All right, let's start with the core. What's the? I think we kind of each, put our nuts down on something we feel deep down inside of us that can't miss. Does someone want to lead us off here?
John, do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
You start. I got
right.
Okay. Yeah. You start.
All right. I'm gonna start with this is not our like typical type of core play here, but
okay.
I really like Jaden Daniels rushing yards this week against Baltimore. I think he's going to get home fantasy points wise, but he's been running a ton, and I just don't see how the Ravens are not pushing the pace in this game, whether it be via Derrick Henry, whether it be via Lamar. All that to me equates to Jaden Daniels dropping back, and Jaden Daniels is not afraid to take off in these games. I love Jaden Daniels here with 50.5 rushing yards. I mean, I would even slide that thing up if I was on mobile, but we're doing core builds, just the simple 1x on the multiplier. Jaden Daniels, great game. Why not through his legs?
How much do you think that bakes in the potential of Brian Robinson being out right now? You know what I mean? Like the 50.5. Like, do you think they're hedging right now, or do you think this is like anticipating Brian Robinson's in? I'm just curious. I'm asking.
I don't know how much him being in affects it.
Okay.
I was wondering that too. Like, I guess Daniels has been rushing in a lot of different ways, right? Like design stuff, scrambles. So it's like, I don't know. You want the offense to succeed. Brian Robinson definitely makes things better, but yeah, I don't know if it should affect it that much.
Okay.
Yeah, because like it's just the fact that they're dropping back. Like they're not going to be able to have that running script, even if B-Rob is in, most likely, because they're facing the Ravens and their defense is not that good.
Yeah.
Probably underrated, but it's not that good.
Yeah. Okay. All right, John, you wanna go next here for us?
Okay, I want to put one on the record, but I don't want to mush the entry for breakfast. This tanks Bigsby 37.5 rushing yards is just like one of my favorite things in the lobby right now. I don't want to mush it on the core before the main slate starts, but like I'm kind of just going, even if he doesn't, it feels very similar to when we did the Bucky Irving pour one out for the 0.5 there, but it feels very similar to the ship chasing Bucky Irving, where it's like this can go one of two ways. He's done enough to usurp the job, or ETN's shoulder is banged up enough. I know it's a tougher matchup, Chicago ground, blah blah blah, but like Chicago ground has been a better place to attack than Chicago air thus far. So I just want that one out for the people. If you guys want to build something around that's one for me. I like Chris Godwin this week. I like Chris Godwin slightly more than Mike Evans this week. Mike Evans has a 58. I like the Godwin 62.5 receiving yards.
Yeah.
I really like the slot matchup. I really like, just leave Lattimore on an island on the other side of the field with Evans, and this team's still going to throw the ball a decent amount. I like this one.
I like it too. And it's so funny because I had one pick that was an idea, and then two of my other favorite picks involve these games. So I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to give you three options for the core, and maybe some of these get added to the expanded core. So one I really like, and I want to get Nez Pittsburgh Homer thought on this. I really like Pat Freiermuth over 30.5 yards. Actually, it's up from the last time I got it. It's up to 31.5. I think this is a really nice spot for Pat Freiermuth. That's the kind of like isolated play.
Sorry, Pete, can I pause you real quick? And we can do let's put these two in the bank real quick. Let's click Bucky Irving as fast as we can, and let's click Chris Olave as fast as we can. It's gone already? Okay.
Come on,
it's gone.
Cool. So I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So what did they just officially doubtful? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. That would have been fun. EDN new in our draft. The ones that correlate that I like with this would be Zay Flowers. I think Zay Flowers higher than 56.5 in this game. He's had one game this year where he's been under a 23% target share. I also wouldn't be opposed to, I guess we don't have fantasy points yet. I really like Zay. And then the other one would just be doing Mayfield passing yards. It's 234, or it's down now to 232.5. Obviously, we take a little bit of a hit just because of the correlation there. But those would be three I would toss out. Do you guys want to vote on one of those to put in the core?
I would vote Mayfield as long as it doesn't dock too hard.
Let's see.
That being said, like if it gives us like 4-6 or something like that, then we have to pick something else.
4-7.
Yeah, no. Let's take that one out. I would vote tight end then.
Nez, do you have any thoughts on Freiermuth this week?
No, I like Freiermuth. I mean, like when you look at the Steelers pass catchers, it's Pickens, who is like running 50% of routes for some reason. And then Muth has been, a pretty steady option for Fields. I like the call. I think the Steelers roll in this matchup. It's what was being spelled there? There it is.
There we go. I was like, why is my FREI not showing up? Okay, so this gives us John the 6x. So yeah, we were getting All right. Let's lock in this core here. And let me make sure I don't have any boosts, by the way. We got to check out our boost stuff here. Otani, gimme pick.
Evergreen reminder that Boost-tober rolls on.
Yes. Okay. So here's our first one. For the audio listeners, we're going Jaden Daniels higher than 50.5 rushing yards, Chris Godwin higher than 62.5 receiving yards, and Pat Freiermuth higher than 31.5 receiving yards there. Put that in the private chat. You guys can drop it in the Badge Bros chat. I'll drop it in my chat. Do we want to do like an expanded version off this? Do you guys have we could include the tank? We could include like a Baker, a Zay, something like that. If Nez has another pick.
I don't really have any other strong cores. I'm not going to lie. I did really like Jaden Daniels rushing, but I'm down to expand this. I guess the only one I did have was Michael Wilson.
If we did, what's the Wilson at, Nez?
38.5.
38.5.
He's cleared that in his last 3 games. I don't see them not being pushed in this matchup, but it's up to you guys how much faith you have in me in this call.
Oh, I mean, we can utmost faith in you.
I have. Let me see.
Mike Wilson,
let me see if we get. Let's do this. Let's expand it with Michael Wilson. Do you want just do they have just receiving yards, or do you want rushing?
They do. I don't know why they have rush and receiving. Does he even have any rush attempts? I mean, I would just do receiving just in case he gets a bad end around. That would tilt me to no end.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this for a little expanded core action. This work. We're taking the same core, adding Zay Flowers 56.5, playing that as a fast game with Jaden, and then Michael Wilson, Nez's flag plant of the week. You like that?
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
James brings up another good one in the chat to branch off of that one. 3.5 catches for Michael Wilson gives you a little spice too. Gives you a slight boost. So
it is nice being able to get there with the big play.
Yeah. Just making people aware.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. He's cleared that in his last 3.
Okay. Let's pick a game environment. This is where I feel like we normally really cook here.
Yeah.
I think kind of our usual path is maybe what is an underrated game environment, like a shootout game.
At the start of the week, I would have said Carolina, Atlanta.
That's what I was going to say today.
Okay.
Well, that one's like, that's chalky on redacted, but let's look at the numbers and see if it's carried over here.
I don't think it has.
The other one I was going to say is the New Orleans one and Tampa Bay, but it's part of our core, which double overlaps, and we just might have lost Rashid Shaheed and Taysom Hill, so the pick'em lobby might be, bearish in general.
Yeah. All right. Let's look at this. So let's look at so Deontay 62.5 receiving yards. Let's see what Chuba's at. 62.5 rushing yards. I mean, both those numbers seem nice to me. I mean, Chuba has been an absolute monster. 62 feels light to me. Deontay, we're getting 6 receptions for Deontay's 1.08. I like that a lot. Before the kind of down game versus Chicago, he was 7 and 8. I like this game. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think it's fairly priced.
Guys, I have terrible news. Chris Godwin, 60.5 now. Numi on the other side of the curtain, absolutely pulling the rug out from under us.
No, this is the blessing. It's going to be the Bucky Irving dynamic, where we lose, but everyone who tails us after the fact ends up getting the lesser number.
We are men of the community, so that checks out.
Yeah.
Shout out to Travis Harper joining up, becoming a member.
Thank you, Travis. Welcome to the brigade.
Let's see here. So other stuff. So I just looked at the Chuba Deontay. I like those. Nez. What's our fantasy points on Bijan? Do we not have fantasy points yet?
I don't think so. I don't think it's up yet.
Okay.
I think let's just use it as a vote of confidence here that they think. Is that 15? Did I see 15? Yeah, 15.5 rush attempts for Bijan. If he gets 16 rush attempts, we're cooking in the BR streets. I just want to say that. And we've got a discount or a dock on the touchdowns. Like, he's cooking. I'm sorry.
I hope so. I sure hope so.
Tell me about
so
it.
I definitely just first glance seem to like the Carolina numbers a little bit better. I'd almost what's the Dalton stuff? Do we not have a Dalton?
Really?
Chris Godwin.
There's no Andy Dalton.
Sick sweat, guys.
What's up, John?
Chris Godwin just moved back up again. This is sick sweat. We're moving markets out.
You got alerts on for Godwin?
No, I just got it open right here.
I feel like the kind of like the tenor of your voice is that like Baker Mayfield's out for the rest of the season. Like that's kind of like what you're conveying right now.
It's moved 1 yard and I'm like, my dog died.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I will tell you, Darnell Mooney. I would not mind doing something with him.
Yeah, what do you like for Mooney?
I was just looking at the receptions because of the higher there, but receiving yards is probably the way to play it.
I like receiving yards for
He's
Mooney.
Cleared it in 3 straight.
I guess it's just a matter of like, is this game dominated by the Falcons? And if it's dominated by the Falcons on the ground, like what's the volume look like for Mooney? not to like throw a whole wrench in like how we play this.
I guess I'm just doubtful that the Falcons are going to go in and dominate them on the road.
Okay. Then let's do. I like Mooney receiving yards. Then.
What do you think, John?
Chris Godwin just went to 63.5.
Just relax, John. We've moved on. We've moved on. Okay, we've moved on.
Before I give my opinion on the Mooney thing, can I just say that people were asking for another 12-person draft and a single entry up in the lobbies, and we just got them. Flea Flicker with the $40 price point instead of the 75 with a single entry. Yeah, and it's only 108 total entrants, and then a victory formation 108? That's $30. Yeah, total entries.
Only 108 entrants?
That's what it's at. That's what it looks like.
9 lobbies.
Okay.
9 lobbies.
I guess
so
I'm going to have to get in that soon.
Yeah. My math,
and then,
right?
Yeah, victory formation, 300 entrants, single entry, $30, $8K in prizes, $2K to first. So 2 kind of like smaller field, like they're not going to be there for long contests. So get in them right now if you see fit.
Okay.
Yes, the Moody thing, game script dependent. I would just take yardage if we're playing Mooney because that's the style player he is, like the deep A dot. We saw the 2 deep completions last time out. If you like to play the game through that, I would do like something like Chuba and him makes a lot of sense to me. Also, because we don't have Dalton, it feels better to play Atlanta via the pass. Now that doesn't mean you don't have to omit Bijan. Like if we play the Atlanta Rolls narrative, I would just say the fact that we have an omission of Dalton coupled with the Q tag of Deontay Johnson, maybe
he should.
This is
if you do a refresh, he should be back.
Okay,
I see him in mine.
All right. All right. Let me do a refresh.
So we've locked into the pick'em Deontay Johnson receptions.
Yeah, well, I'm open to it. I was just putting it in there.
I think the fact that it's a slight multiplier boost is awesome. I mean, like Deontay
that's what
Johnson,
I thought.
Like,
every
day of the week.
What's the get at?
3.5 at 0.9.
Yeah, you don't want receptions for Leggett.
No,
what's the yardage one?
You do yards if you're doing.
And this yardage is not cheap. I mean, for Leggett, it's 42.5.
Yeah, that's not cheap at all. Yeah,
not for Leggett.
So the one thing we've been doing in these kind of game ones, because they're correlated and we'll get a doc, is picking 1 touchdown with a little bit more of a multiplier too. So that's something to consider.
Yeah, either the Bijan touchdown or the Drake London one, depending what the doc is.
Man, it is crazy. Negative multiplier on Kirk Cousins throwing 2 TDs.
Wow. 10x to rush in the Kirk Cousins tush push like they did against the Bills.
What do you guys have any? The other thing is we could pull one of Chuba or Deontay and play them as a touchdown. 1.3.
I think John would much rather do Chuba if we're going to do that. Since Deontay in the end zone they're like water and oil.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Yep, you're definitely right there. Yes.
What do you think? Is there anything else jumping out to you guys? So we got a 3 in here. Do we want to use one of the quarterbacks?
I like Bijan rushing yards.
Okay.
To the surprise of absolutely nobody.
So this has us at an 11. I'm just going to see what I'm just going to put Drake London in here, touchdown. That gives us up to a 26. So we can, if it's just a typical thing, we're doing good. We're still at 22. So we can
the
get
quarterback isn't like mucking it up.
What happens if you take Drake London out and then you add Dalton for like something? Let's use yards to see what's up.
Yeah. 19.1, so still pretty close to a 20x with the correlated play on the Panthers. I like that.
I kind of like that.
What do you think, Nez? So we go Bijan, Mooney, yards, Chuba, rushing, Deontay, 5.5 receptions, Dalton over 221.5.
Yeah, 19.16.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hit it.
Yeah.
All right, there it is.
That feels more obtainable than just going like, oh yeah, also London gets a touchdown.
Yes, I agree.
Like if you just go, oh, also London gets a touchdown, like you got to give me like 30 or something.
Right. Yeah.
This is a
fun shout out for when we start spicing it up. Gibbs over rushing yards. Demont TD needs one to tie Walter Payton consecutive game streak.
Wow.
Whoa.
There you go.
I love that meta.
Yeah. Okay. Let's so we got our core. We got our expanded core. We got our Carolina Atlanta game stack. Do you guys want to build a haterade and then wrap up with some TD bombs?
Yes.
Yeah, because you got to go. I don't want to end on the haterade because I don't want to be those guys.
Yeah, we got to. I want to end with good vibes.
Yeah, let's bring everybody down first, and then let's build them back up. It's a roller coaster of emotions out here.
Who do you guys want to hate on this week?
Let me go. Bijan, no.
God, don't come on. Be nice to me.
Okay, let me go back to the lobbies real quick here. I got
one to look at.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I was just gonna look at Marvin Harrison, but 56.5 feels kind of light.
I want to hate what's anything related to Jalen Tolbert.
Wow.
Let me put this here. I have to run. I'll be right back, guys. I just got to do one thing.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
John, Jalen Tolbert is 45.5.
I wanted like 52 or like 51 or something like that, where they were like accounting for the fact that he just had a good game and accounting for like that.
Is it bad process to throw a haterade pick on like a low total game?
No. Depends what that game is.
I think Chargers in Denver. We gotta go lower on there.
Okay. Okay. I'm looking at Patriots. You're looking at that. I'm looking here. So this is more pleasing.
Who am I looking for?
Oh, okay. There you go. That was quick. We were thinking about game environments. So Nez was suggesting the Broncos game environment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I think we go hit a lower on Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
The Chargers are just, I mean, both these defenses are monstrosities. Chargers are just the best rush defense in the league, and it's not like particularly close either when you adjust for like win percentage filters on I use like rbsdm.com. That they're just like in a league of their own when it comes to rush defense. I don't see how this game has any excitement other than like maybe like defense or special teams touchdowns. I would just do like lower on rushing yards. I would be scared to add in the receiving yards because I think you can get receiving work. But yeah, hook me up with some lower Javonte rushing.
Yeah.
Is there any possibility that we get any additional running back active for this game?
I don't know who it would be.
Estime,
IR, ankle, full practice. That bodes well for Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
You know what? We were just kind of talking about him. Oh, go ahead, John. You got one?
I like this one from the big one in the chat. Lad, lower on. I'm getting 19.5 longest reception. I know I like Lad as a scroll DF down, but like,
it's the only the scary thing is it's like if Surtain just stays on an island because he hasn't been going into the slot, and so Lad, it would be Yak, right? It would be he catches a 7-yard thing underneath and makes some guys miss underneath, but that is a big number.
He goes Juju style on that Thursday night sweat. You don't like it?
I don't. I think I just think Lad is ascending, and I don't want to like Lad looks really good.
Okay. Can I check on Diggs because I kind of want to hate on Diggs. We were just talking about his ceiling. Yeah. How about this? You want to do longest reception? How about lower 22.5 on Diggs?
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yep. There we go.
Now
that's
we're
the one.
Cooking. Okay.
Yeah. Let's hate all over Diggs being gadgety and low ADOT and not being able to fill the Nico role.
Yes. I mean, he can catch 10 balls under 10 yards, but the 22.5 there feels good. Okay, we're cooking. We're hating. Who else do we want to hate on here?
I kind of like another one from the chat there. Lower on the Deshaun Watson combined rushing and passing of 214.5.
There is a part of me that just feels like this is the week. This is just complete gut. Like everyone is just completely fucking done with this Browns team.
We're done.
No one is drafted. Like this is the week he throws for 275 or whatever.
Okay.
But no, but it is very fun to hate on Deshaun. So I'm not gonna poo poo that.
The thing, you might have heard us in your headphones. So like, it's always hard to like throw a hater pick on like a line that's already like low as hell.
Low, yeah.
Like this is already insanely low, and they're gonna have to throw. Right. They're gonna be behind, like for certain.
The hater pick honestly has to be like bursting the steam bubble. You have to say like, you guys have gotten way too frothy with this. Like I'm coming in low.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you guys? What do you guys think about the Marv? That's the only one I keep coming back to a little bit. Nez is on Michael Wilson too, so a little correlation, haterade there.
That's very interesting.
56.5.
I don't think that's crazy. Like I like this game, but I think the way that this can happen is, I mean, I think it really relies on the Packers turning the ball over and giving the Cardinals the opportunity to do what they want to do, which is run the football a lot. And if they are running the football a lot and they get up from ahead and then like Love is just like playing YOLO ball and it doesn't work, then I think that this can get home. I do wish this was like 62.
What if we played it as lower receptions with a little cherry on top at 1.07? Because I actually would be worried. I mean, so he only had 2 receptions last week. We continue to kind of expect a little bit of Trey McBride continuing to kind of earn a ton of targets there. He hasn't been like a huge part. All right. John, can you get on board with that hater?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when I want to be on the right side of history with Trey McDust.
Yeah, exactly. Do we like this for a hater entry?
Yeah, I'm really struggling to find some extra haterade in my heart. Maybe there's too much good vibes on this show.
May interception. That's some haterade right there.
What is it?
Points juiced down. It's 0.82. He's the favorite. Holy cow.
Oh wow. They're like, what can you even do with this stuff?
Yeah.
I was looking at
I like the 3.
Okay. I was looking at some Steelers and Vegas stuff on the side here, and nothing's really.
I didn't want to be the one to suggest. I didn't want to be the one to suggest AOC lowers, but
yeah, I mean, 182 yards. Like it's not. I don't know.
Is there anything good with Green Bay? Hey, like we should. I mean, I was Nez and I are. Oh, go ahead.
They're kind of a little soft on the passing yardage stuff right now because they don't know if Christian Watson's going to play. So there's no yardage stuff for anyone other than Reed, basically.
What do you think hating? I mean, is Dobbs going to come back and have more than 43.5 receiving yards?
Oh, there we go.
What about the I'm sorry narrative? He came out and said I could have handled that entirely differently. So I'm worried. The squeaky wheel.
No,
I'm sorry, I'm not as good as these other.
Let's hate on him.
Then do we need to get to 5 here?
Well, it depends what the number is. The old school math would have told us to get to 5. The new school math might not matter.
We're at 10x, 10.7.
I like it.
Or do we want to add in an AOC?
I'll take a look at it. The number's really low if they're like trailing, but he might just get eaten alive by that Steelers defense. But
yeah,
Steelers defense played like pretty bend not break last week, but that was Dak Prescott. So it's
that was Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
The thing is, the Steelers against like rookie quarterbacks or like, you know, new quarterbacks just tend to eat them alive. They rank really, really well for the Thorn mismatch. The D line versus Raiders O line is the second biggest mismatch this week. Yeah, I like it, but like obviously I like it.
What did we wow. See, this is what happens. Everyone, hey guys, we all wait to click it at the same time. All
We're
right,
moving
if you're
markets.
jumping the gun. Gosh, we just
actually Tuna with a fun one in the chat there too that I was looking at beforehand, but I didn't want to mix in Sunday night. I wanted to keep it main slate, but like some of those slate ones with neighbors out and stuff.
You're wanting to go lower?
No, not for the haterade. Yeah, not for the haterade. Yeah,
we could take out the Dobbs and just lock this as a 3 if we want.
Sounds good.
I like it.
Well, what does it lock at? It locks at 6. There's
6.
no correlation.
6.4. Yeah.
And if you add Dobbs, it's like 10.
Yeah.
I'd add Dobbs. Whatever you guys want.
Let's hate on Dobbs. Feels
hate
fun.
on Dobbs.
All right. There we go. All right. Locking this in. Doing a 4 burger. All right. There it is. All right. Let's wrap up here with some tutties. Let's do what we've been doing. We toss a ton of ideas in, and then we can kind of curtail it. I mean, we're starting with a 1.84 on McBride, aren't we? I mean, what do we?
I was gonna say, man, like, come on. Let's just do it. Thank you.
All right. Who else is scoring a tutty?
I haven't looked at AJ Brown's touchdown multiplier, but I want to put in AJ Brown 1.28. So Denzel Ward, I think, is missing this game. Browns play a lot of man coverage per Rich Rebar on the show that I was watching with Hilo earlier today. AJ Brown, grown ass man, first game back after the hamstring. He's been in the Goku cryo chamber. It's time.
I like it.
1.28 is nice.
Yeah. What is Terry at? I mean, this Ravens secondary 1.48x. Like Terry he's had what touchdowns in 2 of the 3. He's been so close in a bunch of these. Like he should have had a touchdown in that Cleveland game.
Probably going to be
into the
passing.
idea box.
Yeah, I like it.
John, who's scoring a tutty?
It's kind of gross, but we're getting Olave 195 with a doubtful Rashid.
Is Rashid doubtful?
No. He was back at practice.
Oh,
yeah, please don't do that to my Rashid bags.
Someone in the chat said doubtful.
No, I'll put him in timeout. Oh. I saw the tweet. He said he was back at a full practice today.
Oh, okay. Strike it from the record.
Here it is. They ruled out Taysom Hill, but also removed Kamara and Shaheed from the injury report. They're good to go.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. That's good. I'm perusing. Man, Josh Jacobs getting the 0.81 treatment after only having 1 touchdown this year.
I know. What's Pollard? Let's see what Pollard is. 1.14.
I don't hate it.
You know what actually kind of would have been a fun one for our haterade now that I'm seeing it now, if we wanted to do expanded haterade, is Drake May lower 0.5 passing touchdowns and you're getting a little spice on it.
Hey, John. John is the king this show of just living in the segment we just did. You got any updates on the Godwin number?
I'm not as smart as you guys. I'm like 1 step behind all the time.
Dude, Najee is almost even money to score a TD.
Wow.
Whoa.
I think
we're not getting anything on that. Like obviously I think he's gonna have a decent game, but like I can't put that in the spicy pickle. I need more than that. Like we're getting
No, we
1.5x on McLaurin in a great spot where they're going to be throwing.
All right, how about this one?
Okay.
1.81. DeAndre Hopkins comes back to cook perimeter wide receivers.
That one.
Perimeter wide receivers cooking the Colts thus far this year. Coming off the bye, finally plays a full allotment of snaps.
I love that one.
Is it just me or are we at 60x right now?
We are. We're at 63x with these 4.
Holy shit.
And folks, we haven't said if this is the spice core or the expanded spice core.
Yeah, I mean,
and that should get you very excited.
Joe Mixon 1.38. Rushing only 1.67.
I'll show you. I'll show you real quick the one I made with the tight ends one.
Yeah.
Where is this? Okay, this is my champions 4: Freiermuth, Dalton Schultz, Trey McBride, Zach Ertz. $10 to win 2,000.
That's beautiful.
Who says no? Who says no? Come on.
The Zach Ertz was really where it was a real heat check moment after putting Freiermuth, Schultz, McBride, but we let it rip.
Yeah.
Wow, 239 Drake May rushing touchdowns, not crazy. That's a pretty good one, Crutches. I know he's publicly defending his Drake May bags, but that's not crazy. The only time we saw it in the preseason was the design run. We know that Antonio Gibson isn't that dude at the goal line. That's not crazy.
I'll put it in the idea box.
Yeah, Mixon and May would be my 2 idea box guys.
Let me see Mixon. It was 1.38. That's a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to only go rushing, 1.67, but it might be a little thinner.
Yeah, the standard payouts are available for entries with 5 or fewer picks here.
Hit the flex button.
Yeah. Listen here, we're trying to spice it up.
All right, we got it. John or Nez. Any others you want to toss in the idea box here?
No, I mean, if you add just these 5, we're sitting at 174x. I think this is I think I'm good with this multiplier.
I'll throw one more for the idea box in. And I had mentioned him in the other one, but I think it plays really well off the McLaurin thing. And Flowers just is also a guy that just seems so due for a TD, but it's only 1.2x, so that's not quite as much, but I like Flowers too.
Yeah, I don't have May in mind for my 5. I removed May, and now I'm looking at 174 for what we have, and honestly, that feels fantastic.
So let's do this as the expanded spice core. This 174x.
We're working backwards. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
and then they're making a max of $17 for me. We can live with that.
Yeah, you got the
you can't bleed the pool dry. Yeah.
And then we'll do
a likely one's kind of fun too that GA just suggested.
Oh man.
2-1 likely. Had 2 last week.
Okay. Who are the 2? Let's remove 2 picks from this for a spice core.
Okay. I like John's call. But I think I would probably remove Hopkins from that. Just seems like if we're just trying to, the core I feel like should be ones that we're more confident in. I think that would probably be one that I'm the least confident in.
Yeah, the core.
Oh, go ahead.
No, the core would probably remove the outliers, which were Mixon and
not
Hopkins,
McBride.
Right? No, absolutely not.
McBride's got to go to. So I would say either McLaurin or AJ Brown get the axe here. And we leave Mixon and McBride.
Okay. Let's remove. I think AJ Brown. I think McLaurin
just lower. Yeah.
Yeah. Lower and could be some tush push. Could be a lot of Saquon there. I think it's Jaden or Terry in that game.
Yeah. McBride is inner
core. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Yes, I will. You know what I'll do? I've been posting them. I thought I was been posting them in the chat as I go. I can also post them in the Discord here too. And I'll give a little plug for my newsletter. I've been doing a roundup of all the pick'ems, so the Deposit Kingdom and what we do on off and on the clock. But
Awesome.
let me see here, Tyler, if these work. I even got the names for you here. I don't know if those links are going to work, but you can try. But I'll put them in the Discord too. Tag me if I forget. All right, let me lock this in. This is this pays out. What was this one? 22x for McLaurin, McBride, and Mixon.
Cool.
Love it. While you were doing that, Pete, I just did the respector of the chat, giving credence to our community being sharp. And I'm going to add one more in there for the people, if people want to play along at home.
Where is it, John?
I'll put it in the private chat as well.
Yeah, put it in the private.
Here, we'll trade. You put the other one in the private chat. That was the Drake May rushing and or receiving one, Isaiah Likely and Drake London. So that was an alternative chat only spice.
I will say, someone we need a bookkeeper or an accountant around here. Just off anecdotally, it feels like what we hit on the most are definitely the game stack ones that we put together. Like those are our highest hit rate. Maybe we add a second game stack going forward as a way there. But I will tail this at a 35 here. And all right, anything else from you guys? Nez stream tonight at 10. What else?
That's really it, man. We did some really good shows earlier this week, though. We had the show with Easy, where we looked at his companion sheet for BRs. Definitely check that out if you haven't. That was a really cool companion tool for drafting BRs. Highly recommend that. Anything else from you, John?
No, yeah, I'd echo the sentiment for sure. Even if you guys aren't going to use the tool, I think it's very good for just like thought process associated with it. And then, Nez, I haven't told you this yet. It's Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend, so I got a whole bunch of family stuff going on and whatnot. So Monday will most likely Winner's Circle be Tuesday.
Gotcha.
Awesome. I'm about to, once we get off here, I'm going to post this week's Deposit Kingdom video with some gems, some draft ideas. And then I did do a longer segment on kind of like what I think the key lessons are from the like Joe Burrow double stack hitting and how I think people are going to maybe misinterpret what the key takeaway is there, and then use some of Patrick Donovan's numbers from his Battle Royale screener to kind of try to emphasize that point. So keep an eye out for that. I think there's some good stuff in there. And then I'll have my premium streams this weekend. On Saturday night, I'm having Jay Fresh from the Deposit Kingdom. So he recently solo shipped the Redacted Showdown contest for 1 million. Super sharp player. Some of you guys met him at the Dawg Bowl last year. He was Sacrilegious's guest one of the evenings. Really good dude. Excited to pick his brain. He hangs out in the Deposit Kingdom Discord a good bit. So that'll be Saturday, and then we'll have the cram on Sunday. But yeah, appreciate all of you guys. Make sure you're subscribed to both of these channels, whether you're watching on mine or the Badge Bros. And yeah, good luck in week 6, guys. Going to be a fun one. I'm sure we'll all see you in the lobbies over the weekend. We'll see you.